Hello. Hey guys, it's Goosebumps UK here, back with another video. This one is a review of the Abominable Snowman of Pasadena, since it's kind of Christmas time. Yeah, so I've got two copies of it. Here's the story about this one. Basically, when I was like 6 or something, I went to a charity shop and I got this book and a Shocker on Shock Street. I read A Shocker on Shock Street, and it's taken me quite a few years to read this one. You don't want to like reveal my age or anything. I'm not going to reveal how long it took, because then you could just figure out my age. But yeah, The Abominable Snowman of Pasadena. This was not the first Goosebumps book I ever read, but it's the first one I ever got, along with The Abominable Snowman of Pasadena. I'm going to use this example in the review, though, because it's the UK version, and I always use the UK covers. Yeah, you can read the back if you want, but yeah, just pause it and read it if you care enough. Basically, there's a boy and a girl, they're brother and sister. They live in Pasadena, where it's always like really hot and stuff. They've never seen snow, and they're going to, basically, their dad, he's a photographer, and he always goes out places like different countries and stuff. And since they don't want their they don't want their, like, what was it again, they don't want their, like, there's this really like annoying, like, babysitter they have whenever their dad goes away, and they don't want her to take care of them. So instead they get to go with their dad to I almost said the Abominable Snowman. They go to Alaska, in this place called, I think it's called like Iknek or something. I don't think it's on the blurb. No, it isn't, but yeah, they go to this place in Alaska, and they, like, the reason they're going there is because they want to find the abominable snowman. And the thing I find funny is, not for like a second they're questioning, like, Dad, isn't this kind of stupid? Like, seriously, you're going all this way to find, like, what's a legend? Yeah, and they just never question it. They're just like, oh yeah, the abominable snowman's real. There's this guy called Arthur who's like taking them around Alaska, and he said that I think one of his friends got like eaten by the abominable snowman. Yeah, so that's what, he's called Arthur. And I don't know why I pictured Arthur being like 40 years old or something, but then I read like the graphics version, and it turns out he's like super old. But yeah, uh, so they try to find the abominable snowman, and that's pretty much all I'm gonna say without getting spoilers. So I'm gonna get, if you've not read the book, then you gotta leave and, I don't know, do something else. Read a Goosebumps book, obviously. And if you have read the book, then keep watching, I guess. Yeah, so they find the abominable snowman. They fall into this, like, this brother and the sister. They lose their dad and Arthur, and they fall into this big cave thing, and they see the abominable snowman stuck in ice, but eventually it gets out and it like chases them, and it actually grabs them, but then it kind of drops them at their house. So yeah, they get back to their house, they see their dad, and then they're like, oh Dad, we saw the abominable snowman. And he's like, oh, they're pranking again. Honestly, the audacity to prank me. Yeah, so he thinks it's just a prank, then he sees the abominable snowman, and the abominable snowman's frozen again somehow. I can't remember how. And he's like, oh, I'll take some photos of him. And then they're like, oh, let's take these home or whatever. And then he's like, this, like, the crazy moment, he's like, oh, we don't just need to bring photos home, we can bring the abominable snowman home. So yeah, they bring the abominable snowman to Pasadena. I don't really know how. They somehow get him in a trunk or something, is what they say, or like a big box. I find that really weird though. Like, apparently it's airtight, but like, still, you find it kind of unrealistic. And wouldn't they, like, yeah, it doesn't matter. So they go back, and then the abominable snowman, it's in this, like, wooden box thing. They open it, the abominable snowman gets out. They also forgot to mention this, they snuck some snowballs inside it. So they use the snowball, they throw it at a tree, and then the tree, it gets like tons of snow and stuff. Eventually they throw it at someone else, and I think the main character throws it at his sister. I've not even mentioned their names yet. What are they? Jordan and Nicole. So Jordan throws it at his sister Nicole, a snowball, and she freezes. So then, apparently, he somehow figured it out that he needs the abominable snowman to unfreeze her. Spoiler alert, I don't know why I'm saying this because I've already mentioned that this is in the spoiler territory, but it gets her out, and then the abominable snowman runs away and is never mentioned again because that's pretty much the end of the book. It also ends, forgot to mention this because it isn't really that important. There are these two like kind of kids that live in their neighborhood. They're kind of like massive jerks, and they find snowballs and they start throwing them at each other, and that's like the big twist at the end because then they're gonna get frozen. Oh no! I'd give this book a 6.5 out of 10, maybe like a 6 out of 10. I wasn't like that hyped for it or anything, though. It's kind of like I was thinking, and I'll kind of regret not doing this, but this was the first Goosebumps book I ever bought, along with Shocker on Shock Street. So maybe I could have made it the last Goosebumps book I've ever read. Though, yeah, I'm not really doing that now. Anyway, because I've just read it, I can't like undo that. I'm not sure what else I have to say. Characters good. Characters. I actually did quite like the characters. The story was fine. I think they should have spent a bit more time in Pasadena though, because it's actually just like 20 pages, and the abominable snowman escapes like 5 pages near the end of the book. Yeah, so barely any time in Pasadena, and I wish they did more with that. The abominable snowman just leaves. Yeah, and then okay, that's at the end of the book, but the abominable snowman must be just like walking around Pasadena, and it's never brought up. Yeah. So and not like the greatest twist or whatever. But overall, probably a 6 out of 10. Thought it was fine read. I'd recommend it if you have like one Goosebumps book in your collection, which is this. I'd recommend you read it. It's like I think 130 pages. So yeah. Anyway, Merry Christmas time because it's not actually Christmas. And forgot to mention my next review. This won't be a Christmas book. But my next review will be Say Cheese and Die. It's because I don't want to read all the Christmas books in November. And then I think the one after that, I might read Say Cheese and Die again, which I have next to me on my shelf. Yeah. Though I've seen, yeah. Anyway, bye. See you.